New details emerge about the identity and ideology of the man who allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump. Typhoon Bebinca brings one of the world's biggest cities to a standstill. Playing cops and robbers, Taiwanese banks train staff in scam detection through fraudster roleplay. Plus,
it's Mid-Autumn Festival. We take a look at a special event, not to celebrate the moon, but the love god.
a warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Chen. New details are emerging about the alleged shooter in an apparent assassination attempt on U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. The suspect was reportedly a staunch supporter of Ukraine and Taiwan. Joyce Deng reports.
Investigations are underway into this man, 58-year-old Ryan Routh, who allegedly staged an assassination attempt targeting U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Routh was supposedly lying in the bushes with an AK-47-style assault rifle, coming just a few hundred yards away from the former president, while he was golfing in Florida. Routh fired no shots before being found and detained. Now, new details about his motivations. A former Trump supporter with a long digital trail and strong views on U.S. geopolitical ties.
We're going through media reports and public statements he made that he wanted to recruit Afghan soldiers and others to fight for Ukraine.
The suspect denounced Trump on social media and in a self-published book for his failure to support Ukraine against Russia's invasion. Routh was also vocal about boosting Taiwan's defenses against China. He's listed on this website named Taiwan Foreign Legion as the main contact for international volunteers, an unofficial group that claims to recruit fighters for Taiwan in the event of a war with China, akin to Routh's proclaimed mission to support Kyiv.
You know, we need thousands and thousands and thousands of people here fighting with the Ukrainians.
Taiwan's defense ministry declined to comment on Routh and the pro-Taiwan website. Meanwhile, with less than 50 days to go until the presidential election, security is a top concern. This is the second apparent attempt to assassinate Trump. 2 months ago, a gunman opened fire at a Pennsylvania rally, hitting the Republican candidate in the ear, the security failure prompting a leadership reshuffle in the U.S. Secret Service.
We need to get out of a reactive model and get to a readiness model. There could be another geopolitical event that could put the United States into a kinetic conflict.
Choosing to politicize the alleged shooting attempt, Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, hit out at their Democrat counterparts.
No one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months, and 2 people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric.
Both U.S. President Joe Biden and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris have condemned the latest reported attempt on Trump's life, saying there is no place for political violence in the United States, a country that has positioned itself as a beacon of democracy, now worried about having not just free and fair elections, but a safe one. Klein Wong and Joyce Deng for TaiwanPlus.
At least 2 people have died in Shanghai after Typhoon Babinka tore through the Chinese megacity. The tropical storm is the strongest to hit the region in 75 years. Rosie Greninger reports.
A trail of destruction across Shanghai in the wake of Typhoon Babinka. With winds reaching 150 kilometers per hour, it was the strongest tropical storm to hit the city in 75 years. Bringing torrential rainfall of up to 50 millimeters in just 30 minutes. At least 1 person was injured by a falling tree. More than 1,800 trees were uprooted and at least 53 hectares of farmland flooded. 30,000 households were left without power and 400,000 people were forced to evacuate. The rest of the city's 25 million population told to stay indoors under a red alert. But for some, the storm was no cause of concern.
听讲这是大风是很厉害的，据说是49年以来最大的一次。不过我觉得无所谓，因为我原来当海军的，在海上乘风破浪，天天跟雨风打交道的，所以我今天84岁。
For others, it caused major disruptions to travel plans over China's 3-day Mid-Autumn Festival, with thousands of flight, train and ferry services suspended.
We are coming from Australia. We came back to visit our family during the public holidays, and then we knew that typhoon is coming, so we rescheduled our train from Monday to Sunday, so we can get back to my husband's hometown in Fujian safely.
But with the city no stranger to typhoons, this being the 13th this year, authorities say they were well prepared to avert disaster, with more than 60,000 emergency responders on standby.
这沙滩沿线、海地沿线投放警力，定时进行巡逻，遇到易积水的点位及时进行这个疏通。同时对这个海地沿线加强视频巡逻，遇突发情况及时进行处置。
More significant rainfall is expected here. But as the storm weakens and moves inland, emergency services are already beginning the cleanup to allow this normally bustling financial hub to resume business as soon as possible. Dolphine, Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
Floods caused by torrential rains have killed over 220 people in Myanmar in a week following Typhoon Yagi. Aerial footage shows huge areas of land around the country's capital, Naypyidaw, covered by flood waters and mountainsides exposed by landslides. Relief organizations say flood-hit regions are difficult to access due to damaged roads and disruptions to communication networks. Typhoon Yagi is the strongest storm to hit Asia this year. Hip-hop giant Diddy has been arrested in New York on unspecified federal charges. Combs' arrest on Monday was made in connection with an ongoing U.S. Homeland Security investigation. It comes after almost a year of legal issues for the rapper-producer, including accusations of sexual assault and human trafficking. Combs denies all the claims against him. Prosecutors are expected to reveal more details about the arrest on Tuesday. Combs was formerly known as P. Diddy, as well as other aliases. A broken pipeline in the northern city of Keelung has polluted the stream, leaving people living nearby reeling from the smell. The CPC Corporation, Taiwan's state-run oil refiner, had called in a contractor to repair a minor leak earlier in the week. But officials say the contractor accidentally further damaged the line and it began leaking oil into a nearby stream. Keelung environmental officials have given CPC 7 days to clean up the spill and may fine the company up to $100,000. Bank fraud is in a government sight with an extra budget of hundreds of millions of US dollars set aside for tackling scams next year. But officials say money alone won't be enough and that high-tech solutions are needed. John Van Tres has this report.
想请问一下，今天领这笔款项的用途是什么呢?
A bit of role play with a serious purpose. This bank teller has a suspicious customer who can't explain why he wants to withdraw over $20,000 US dollars. Using her training, she figures out this man is a scam artist, and it's not long until police are on the scene to arrest him. In the audience at this demonstration are Premier Zhou Rongtai and Financial Supervisory Commission official Tong Zhongchang. Taiwan seeing a surge in scams and fraud. From mid-2022 to mid-2023, fraudsters made off with nearly 1% of the national GDP. But while bank accounts aren't the main target, officials are still determined to keep them safe. Bankers say their anti-fraud measures work most of the time.
被锁控的账户有高达90%在之后变成警示账户或其他不法可疑账户，让诈团无法操控这些账户。
But it's that 10% that can be lucrative. And Taiwan is full of accounts ripe for criminals to try and access. That's because Taiwanese employers usually have a preferred bank that new hires have to open an account with to get paid. So people who change jobs frequently may end up with many accounts they don't bother to close. Those abandoned accounts can then be taken over by fraudsters, with the original account holders none the wiser. To help fight the problem, the government set aside over $200 million for next year. But officials say money won't be enough. They want closer cooperation between banks and customers, and they seek high-tech solutions as well.
AI 的导入，我们认为是重中之重。请金融机构，那必须要在资讯方面，在这个科技打诈方面要能够导入之外，那我们也鼓励金融机构，那能够以联防的方式做主诈，应该最有力的一个利器。
It may not be easy for banks to pull this off. In recent years, fraud has proved to be a sticky problem, with new rings popping up when old ones are busted, and no shortage of inventive new scams. But officials are still making a clampdown on fraud a priority. Scott Huang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
There's more to Mid-Autumn Festival than admiring the moon, eating mooncakes, and having a barbecue. Many in Taiwan also celebrate the love god on this day. Our reporter Cindy Chi takes us to a garden in Taipei to check out the festivities.
A grand welcome to the love god, locally known as Yue Lao. This is an annual celebration of the deity's birthday, which coincides with the Mid-Autumn Festival in Taiwan on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. For 18 years, organizers have hosted birthday festivities at the Lin family mansion and garden. Alongside the celebrations, the event offers single people a chance to find true love.
是有缘人，我们才能真心疼惜。有的人不是啊，搞点气看买下的，那没心交来的朋友就不稳定啊。既然如果是跟你有心有意，大家在一起，就是要长长久久。
Of all those at the event, one couple stands out the most. Their purpose for visiting is unique among the guests. They are not here to search for love, but to thank the love god for granting them the chance to have their very own happily ever after.
The god is very important for us because he's from Germany and I'm here in Taiwanese, and sometimes we will argue, but we pray to the love god and then we get more happiness and fortune, so we're married now. Yeah.
And today the couple is back not only to thank the love god, but also pray for something else.
Because it's the love god's birthday, so we are here to celebrate together, and then also I pray to him, to the God again, and hopefully we can have a child.
With their first prayer answered, their hopes are high for the second.
拜拜的时候，自己的名字、年龄、住址讲清楚，说明白。Handsome boy, do you know? 要说清楚，要不然会搞丑啊。
Witnessing the matchmaking power of the love god, many here are eager to find their true love. So ma'am, can you tell me, why are you here and what kind of partner are you looking for?
来这里就是参加，就是刚好中秋节，然后有这次的月老活动，想说来看看能不能帮忙找到另一半的理想中的正缘。我想要的对象就是工作稳定，然后不要长得太丑就好。
With hearts full of hope, those seeking love gather to celebrate the love god's birthday, wishing for blessings of love and perhaps the promise of a romantic beginning. Chrisma, Millie Hughes, and Sunny Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Coming up after the break, cuteness overload. Meet the hyper hippo delighting the internet.
Hello and welcome to Taiwan Talks. I'm Ian Kavat. Today we examine China's engagement with Africa.
So, unfortunately, this very aggressive form of cultural revolution-like politics in China seems to be moving forward in this modern era.
This grave injustice is happening.
The issue is, what can the U.S. do to help strengthen Taiwan?
We need that kind of mindset to prepare for the warfare.
What implications does this have on Taiwan and the region as a whole?
Just like Ukraine right now, you need people to understand we're doing this for our own country.
Reaffirmed our support for the Taiwanese ability to make their own decisions about their own future.
Relationship between the United States and
it's very hard to duplicate in the short time. Taiwan still can continue being the leading position if we put efforts on R&D.
sea and you are riding on a wave, this is exactly the time you need to double down.
Or I did not realize I am actually running to be the first Asian woman in the state senate. Our next generation, they can see Asian American is as equal and have the same platform.
Taiwan Talks provides a platform for the voices and perspectives that are shaping our country.
For more stories from Taiwan, around the world, and in front of a World War II-era aircraft carrier, please download the TaiwanPlus app. It's bigger than it looks.
Start your weekend with a cup of coffee and a moment to reflect on what happened this week.
Hello and welcome.
We've got you covered, from defense and politics to high-tech and the arts.
Not just to Taiwan, the whole world is watching.
You make the coffee,
we make the news.
Here's what happened on TaiwanPlus.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. Taiwan's military has confirmed a maintenance deal for U.S.-made aircraft parts worth $228 million. Taiwan will send parts to the U.S. to be repaired and refurbished, then returned. It's the 16th arms sale under the Biden administration, with many sales aimed at maintaining and supporting Taiwan's current fleet of aircraft. For more on this, our reporter Jaime Okan spoke to Kelly Grieco, a security analyst with the Stimson Center in Washington, D.C.
Kelly, this latest arms sale is about $228 million worth of spare parts and maintenance. It's not the biggest sale in terms of value, but how important are these parts for Taiwan's military?
I mean, it is actually very important in the sense of sustaining your ability to use these aircraft. The F-16 is an older aircraft, particularly for Taiwan. But what we've seen is that we've been able to really extend the life of these kinds of airframes. And the way you do that is with regular maintenance and the ability to have parts that you're able to replenish, right? You can replenish parts as needed, and then you're able to really sustain the life of these aircraft. I mean, you just look at the United States with how long it's been flying some B-52s, for example.
Well, Taiwan has been trying to boost its defense against China, buying fighter jets from the U.S. like F-16s. But when you look at the way that Taiwan's Air Force is structured right now, is it in a good position to protect its skies?
No, I mean, I don't think Taiwan is in a good position in terms of air power, in terms of its existing investments. When you look at Taiwan's fundamental problem, it is that it is going to always be at a disadvantage quantitatively against the Chinese. That's just a reality. It is also, located so close to the mainland that it's going to be under very severe missile threats. And so you can have the best aircraft in the world, but you need to be able to get those aircraft up off the runways. And even with hardened shelters, which Taiwan has some of these, I don't really see how these fighters are going to be useful, particularly early in a conflict, when China has the capacity to essentially crater runways every 4-8 hours for days, weeks at a time.
So given that, then, what should Taiwan's military be buying, or what does it need to do in order to make sure that it can have a robust defense against China?
And when I look at Taiwan's situation, it really needs to be able to contest the airspace. So it can't rely on fighters alone to try to provide some kind of air superiority bubble over Taiwan. In fact, that's going to be really difficult to do just because of the number of Chinese aircraft and trying to get all these aircraft in the air in wartime conditions. What it really needs is to be able to contest that airspace so China doesn't have air superiority over Taiwan. And that requires largely a different kind of air force than one that is organized primarily around small number of high-end fighter aircraft. It needs large numbers of drones of all different types and ranges. It needs lots of anti-air missiles. And the question Taiwan should really ask itself is, for every dollar that it might spend on a new fighter aircraft, is that dollar better off being spent on a small number of cheap things?
That was Kelly Grieco, a security analyst with the Stimson Center in Washington, D.C. An acrobatic troupe in Taiwan has been helping people with developmental disabilities find their role in society and explore their potential through art and work. Irene Lin takes a look.
上车预备，1、2、3，一条线哦，一条线。
Kicking off with a firm thrust, these unicyclers in blue uniforms are members of the new Heart Theater troupe. Eagle is the oldest. He turned 28 this year, but doctors say he has the brain of a 13-year-old due to developmental disability. He's been training on the unicycle for 7 years.
大轮车比较辛苦，因为有些动作很难练。大轮车比较靠腰，而且要很好的平衡感。
Parents of some younger members with autism and ADHD are beginning to see changes in how their kids behave.
中正纪念堂去表演，然后就有小女生跑来问我说，她想去跟小花拍照，可不可以？小花竟然答应说要跟那个小女生拍照，很出乎我意料，改变很多。
今天要干嘛？要做家事、洗碗那一些，她会更专心的。什么事情要赶快做，她会去了解这个。
The troupe has taken part in several competitions to show off their progress after months and years of practice. At his first talent contest, Eagle placed second in the physical category, impressing the audience and the judges.
就是在台上，即便有那么一点点的失误，他不疾不徐的跟观众说我要再一次。我觉得那个瞬间让我看见就是一种生命的一个韧性啊。
Despite their innate challenges, there are some gifted acrobats in the troupe. With a little bit of training and love, founder and coach Wang Guanghua says these diamonds in the rough will shine and be capable of playing a full role in society.
能力再差的，你就是用时间换取空间，他一定会的。尤其是自闭症的孩子，他天生平衡感就比正常人还好，他们的单轮车技术比我还好。我就想要证明给所有的家长看，是可以工作，只要我们大家齐心努力。
People with disabilities are often excluded from the workforce and social circles due to physical and mental impediments. But the performers from New Heart Theater troupe are living examples of how dedication and support can make the seemingly impossible come true. Ryan Wu and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
A chubby hippo calf has the internet in stitches over her slippery temper tantrums. But could a surge in awareness about the species help conservation efforts? Reese Ayers reports.
Plump, slippery, and all kinds of sassy. Meet Mudeng, the 2-month-old pygmy hippo breaking the internet. From inside her enclosure at a zoo in Thailand, Mudeng, whose name roughly translates to bouncy pig, has become the internet's latest darling, garnering over 2.5 million followers on TikTok and a die-hard fan base the world over. With some netizens describing her as their spirit animal and the most beautiful girl in the world. Mudeng's chubby aesthetic and sudden tantrums are bringing swathes of visitors to the Kaohsiung Open Zoo.
วันนี้ออกมาจากกรุงเทพฯ 6:30 น.ก็มาดูหมูเด้งโดยเฉพาะเลยฮะถือว่าตั้งใจมาดูครับผม
น้องหมูเด้งเป็นฮิปโปแคะค่ะหนูรู้จักมาจาก TikTok ที่หนูไม่อยากรู้น้องเพราะว่าน้องน่ารักค่ะ
Mudeng's sudden fame has more than doubled the number of daily visitors to the zoo, bringing a new level of attention to the humble institution.
แล้วในช่วงของวันเสาร์อาทิตย์เองเนี่ยปกติเราอยู่ที่ประมาณ 4-5,000 คนนะครับในช่วงของฤดูท่องเที่ยวที่เป็นโลซีซั่นเนี่ยอย่าง2 วันที่ผ่านมาเสาร์อาทิตย์ที่ผ่านมาเนี่ยมีไม่ต่ำกว่า 10,000 คนต่อวันนะครับ2 วันก็ร่วม 20,000 กว่านะครับถือว่าเป็นปรากฏการณ์ที่เราคาดไม่ถึงว่าจะมา
Though after reports of some visitors throwing things at Mudeng, the zoo has warned they'll take legal action against anybody caught mistreating their animals. Pygmy hippos are an endangered species. There are estimated to be fewer than 3,000 left in the wild, their numbers threatened by poaching and habitat loss. But Mudeng's keepers are hopeful her rise to stardom can raise the profile of the species as a whole.
มากขึ้นนะครับเพราะว่าฮิปโปแคทก็เป็นสัตว์ที่ใกล้จะสูญพันธุ์แล้วครับคลิปความน่ารักของน้องก็อาจจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในการช่วยให้คนแบบว่ามาแบบว่าเกิดความรักแล้วก็อนุรักษ์น้องอะไรเงี้ย
And based on the reactions of some visitors, it seems to be working.
ตอนแรกเนี่ยไม่รู้เลยค่ะว่าน้องจะใกล้สูญพันธุ์แต่ก็ทีนี้ได้รู้จากทางโซเชียลมีเดียว่าน้องมีเหมือนแบบปริมาณในจำกัดใช่ไหมคะแล้วก็แบบเหมือนจะใกล้สูญพันธุ์ยังไงก็อยากให้อนุรักษ์น้องไว้
Mudung's outbursts and cuteness have made her perfect meme material and the unwitting ambassador for her entire species. With luck, she'll be cute enough to bring real help for her kind. Justin Wu and Reese Ayres for TaiwanPlus.
The hoi ho penguin has been voted New Zealand's Bird of the Year. One of the rarest penguin species in the world, the hoi ho is endemic to New Zealand, but only 4,000 to 5,000 remain in the wild. Hoi ho penguins have lost almost 80% of their population in the past 15 years because of climate change and predators. Despite its name meaning noise shouter in a Maori language, the penguin is incredibly shy. Conservationists are excited by the hoi ho's victory and say that it will bring awareness to the bird's struggle for survival. Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, check out Hong Kong's annual Tai Hang Fire Dragon Dance performance, which turns 145 this year. Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. I'm Betty Chen. Take care and see you next time.
Watching TaiwanPlus. Be sure to follow us on social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world.